Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, we got a little bit of a pre-air episode of a show that I've been participating for a long time, and that's mainly because whenever I first saw this show, um, I instantly thought of a couple things, but after watching it further now, like it is such a messed up show, man. I'm actually feel kind of bad for just like the people who actually think this man is like useless or something, because as you can tell, the hero, the rising, what do they call it? The rising hero shield or something? The rise of the hero with the shield. Um, just seeing his motivation and just seeing his persona of like someone being actually betrayed, it just gives you that feel of like someone who definitely doesn't deserve it, but because of it, it's going to make them much, much stronger than they already were going to become. And that definitely feels like this type of protagonist. But the sad part was just seeing how it all went down, man. Like this is why you guys can't be trusting women out here, man. They're so conniving sometimes. Like there are good women out there, but shoot, if you find one like this that pretty much gives you all these types of angles, you might have yourself, like he says in the episode, a beach. um, it's kind of funny that he calls one of these girls out, and come to find out, that's pretty much how they are in this world. Like somehow she's figured out a way to attack him in a way of lying, getting his own fellow teammates against him, and not only that, then pretty much, stealing everything he had in the sense of like gold coins and silver coins, and pretty much left him with whatever he kind of just grabbed and put in the shield. Uh, but the show as a whole starts out as just a normal senior. He's a sophomore in college, and he's pretty much living with his younger brother, that I think also is going about to be in. He's either in high school and about to be in college, or he's just starting high school. But with what he does, he looks for a light novel, and that's pretty much how he ends up in this world. Which it's funny because the people who get summoned there, just like he does, they think of it as a video game when he was the one who got picked up through a light novel. Which, I mean, I guess by them playing RPGs that have similar things to this world, that might have gave him some knowledge, or maybe just the weapon alone gave him knowledge. Because from what I can understand is the hero with the shields is like always known for being like this type of person that he is, and not knowing anything of the worlds around him and stuff like that. So it's almost as if they knew they were getting someone who was just like the most unlucky, and just like not that most like termination and stuff like that. Like as if their personalities excuse me, it's like their personalities were chosen. Like the weapons were like, oh well, this guy doesn't have a personality of a sword, so I don't want him. It's almost like the weapons chose their people. And with the show being like just dope looking and like making me want to like watch more of it, the sad part is the guy who I like to watch is the one getting absolutely just ruined, man. Like he kind of reminds me of the main character of ReZero, the guy, but way less loser-ish. Because when he goes out and actually like trains for the first time, he's just like acting as if it's nonchalant or whatever. But once the events occur and he goes to sleep and the girl betrays him and pretty much leaves him out in the streets for dead, which remind you, this episode was like 45 minutes long, so I'm not sure if the pilot episode's going to be that long again. Like if this pre-episode was like maybe 2 episodes in one or something, which would kind of suck if I watched 2 episodes already and they haven't even been aired, you know. So I would probably wait until until they go and catch up before I actually air. I'm not gonna take views after I've done this. Like for Tokyo, they did this for Tokyo Ghoul Re season 2. They dropped the first episode way earlier than they should have, and then because of it, I reviewed it at that time. And then when it really came out, I just didn't review it because I already had it done. And nothing changed, so I'm guessing nothing's going to change. This is just a pre-air, like it's just out earlier than scheduled, pretty much. That's it. Um, but from full on, what I can tell, man, this show is going to be quite brutal. It's going to be probably a lot of lying and manipulating of these heroes that we've already seen, and maybe even having them be put in positions where they thought they were doing the right thing, but honestly, they're just hurting. Yeah, they're hurting everybody. They're hurting these heroes that they think they're taking care of. I mean, the king, everybody betrays this guy. Um, the one companion that he has supposedly was just waiting for the perfect moment to set him up, leave like her top in his room after stealing every single thing, and then just leaving the top in there so he gets caught up in any way, shape, or form that he tries to get out of the incident. Man, like that, I was actually heated when everything was going down. Like the guy with the spear runs up at him towards the end and grabs him. He's like, "Hey!" And then our shield guy just rips his arm away from him and just like, I'm weak and time is precious." Like I felt that, man. Oh man, I was just like, leave these fools before I kill them for you, you know. Oh my God. And then not to mention, the only way for him to supposedly get back to his world is if all 4 of them do what they were like brought here to do, which is to defeat the waves of people. Um, but because of that, he has less support now. The person that did support him just got away with all of his money and, took his pride as a hero. So he's pretty much a villain in a hero's storyline at this point. And I think that's so messed up, man. Not to mention, we're looking at all these other members that are doing like the same training as him, and they're having zero like difficulty because they have an actual weapon. He tried to pick up weapons, and it's an actual violation of what he's supposed to be doing. So take that as you will. He straight up can't use stuff because of the shield. So even though he should be able to pretty much just, oh, he broke all my backstory, you bastard. Um, because he is in the situation he's in, no one's ever going to care. Like no one's ever going to put out the effort to be like, huh, maybe this guy really is a good guy. Like now he has these sins to bear, and even the king's like, don't expect to be able to live like an easy life here. Um, I mean, the guy literally leaves town and goes and sleeps outside with the balloon monsters that he's been fighting. He goes out and fights like a whole bunch, like a horde of them, at least 20, and collects their skins. And he only became level 2 by doing that. So if this is one of them stories where they're like South Park, where they were just hunting sheep for like 40 plus hours or something crazy just to level up, but of course it was more, but I'm saying like in them living, if he's living in this world, like this actual world, he got to put in the hours himself physically instead of just like getting on the computer and sending the character there. This man literally has to fight every fight, and these things are bouncing around like crazy. So I feel so bad for the boy. The episode does end with kind of an up and a low at the same time. Um, we learned that, just because he's in town anywhere, like everybody knows of what he did, or like the word has spread about the Shield hero so quickly that it doesn't really matter where he goes at this point. Like, people just know his sins, and not to mention, he's not doing himself any favors to get rid of those like talks. He straight up starts like he shouldn't even have to haggle with this guy. The person in front of him literally had the same monster skin, and he's like, I have like 3 or 4, and he's like, okay, I'll give you a coin for each of them. Our hero comes up, he's like, I have like 20, and he's like, oh, well, for 20 I can give you 1 coin for all of them. That just goes to show you like how messed up it is already for him in a world that he has no idea what the heck everything is. The best aspect of the whole entire show that I see so far that I love, and that also gives me the feeling of like slime, is his shield can absorb like anything, and it doesn't seem like, well, I can't say that it's not possible, but it doesn't feel like the other heroes have that ability to absorb, because like the blacksmith said, he doesn't understand the shield, but it seemingly is giving off great power. And I think that magic slash great power is the ability to absorb all of the nature types in this world, because after absorbing a piece of leaf, he actually made a full-on leaf shield. So I'm guessing if he had to battle someone that's using leaves or like razor leaves or something that is enchanted, he would use that shield to protect him against that element. So I already like where the aspect of that part of the story is going, 100%. But seeing my boy get treated this way, and supposedly he was already a loser, which, mind you, I'm a guy who loves MMOs and RPGs, and I'm always like the sword and shield guy. I'm the guy who stands in front and takes hits for you while you load up a strong attack and try to kill the enemy. So if anyone understands this and feels for him, it's me. I'm the one who knows how it feels when these people in your party feel like, oh, he's supposed to die, so I can't wait for him to die and hope that we can still live for a little bit long enough to win. Like, they don't care about my life as long as I'm alive long enough to keep them alive to win. So that's definitely what our job is as like a paladin. But for him, he literally doesn't even have the sword, so he's literally fighting with his hands, his feet, and I think that is going to be the reason why he's going to have a little bit more success than the others, because now he's not living a lavish life. He's not living in luxury and being treated like a hero every single day. This man is grinding for he's seeing the true side of all of these people. So just like how this girl tricked him this week's episode, all 4 of those heroes could get tricked, but at the same time, they might not be as carefree as our character and let something like that happen so blatantly without doing something about it, which, they would cover their own tracks or something. That's just how these characters are coming off of. They seem so snobby and stuff, so sorry. This episode had so many different like feels to it, man, and I loved it, but I'm also not going to keep my hopes up that this is going to be like 45-minute episodes every single week. But the upside and the bad side that I was talking about at the very end was the fact that he meets a guy who's like a clown jester look-alike, pretty much. Like, he's pretty much just the Millennium Earl from D. Gray Man, but the human form. And he pretty much is a slave trader, and we learn more about the races, or like a race, I should say, that is pretty much relatively slaves, and have animal like tendencies and stuff. So that's another reason why they're not really considered humans, because they accept their animal side more than probably their human side at times. And you could see it in all of them, like that all the things in the cages seem like they're ready to fight and scrap. But when we come to this final one with our hero and see who he's kind of interested in, we're definitely probably looking at someone that shouldn't be in there. She looks really young, and she also looks like someone that probably didn't do anything wrong, just like him. So hopefully that's where we're going with this, because that would be really cool, having two characters that can relate to each other, and that's also been mistreated in a way that, you know, shouldn't have happened. So they have common grounds and stuff like that. I could see that really working out well for the hero guy, and it might actually bring back a smile on his face for once, because man, this guy is in a dark place, and I kind of love it. Like, I kind of love the theme of this underdog straight up coming out of the underground and straight up just destroying everybody's expectations of him. So I'm really looking forward to this. I hope you guys are too. This is one of the shows I've been like looking into for quite a bit after seeing a trailer for it and hearing really good things about the manga as a whole. Not really listening to story plots in general, like just things that happen. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know if you guys are also intrigued in this anime. I'm not really sure what's the actual date. I think it's coming out sometime January, like the 15th or like the 9th or something like that. Like relatively close, but this was just really, really early viewing of it, and I almost feel like, you know, a superstar getting to watch it so early. But yeah, guys, let me know what you feel about this. I can't wait to talk more about it on the channel and see more of the content. I also think it might be a 12 episode anime. I'm not sure. I'm also waiting for like all that information. So if you guys know much about the show's runtime, how many chapters the manga has, all that type of stuff, I would love to hear what you guys have to say in the comments down below. And so that's kind of a shout out to people to be careful for spoilers. But I do read all comments, so if there's something you want to talk to me about this show or just talk about it in general, let me know, and I will be always down to talk about it. So with that, everybody, I hope you have a good day, night, evening, whatever the case is when you're watching this, and I will talk to you in the next one, my anime people. So with that, peace.